This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Audible. Coming up, AMC just keeps cranking out those dramas. This time we take a look at the new show, Hell on Wheels.
Everybody, we are back with TV. We're talking about the new series from AMC, Hell on Wheels. It's sort of odd how they premiered this series because it's going to run sort of concurrently with Walking Dead, but it didn't premiere the same time as The Walking Dead premiered. So they advertised it during The Walking Dead to be released 2 weeks afterwards, which is sort of an odd staggering of shows.
Not only that, interesting marketing thing they did where they say, because it like catches the last minute of Walking Dead at the beginning of Hell, and it says to see scenes from next week's Walking Dead, stay tuned during Hell on Wheels. So you don't get next week's. You have to watch
the first. It's like the first
brilliant.
thing. That is brilliant. Also, they're doing a very aggressive online showing of the premiere episode of Hell on Wheels, which is really cool. A lot of companies are doing that. So Hell on Wheels is at its heart an Old West tale of the creation of the Union Pacific Railroad to go across the sort of western bleeding edge of the Union Pacific Railroad. So it's sort of the guys that got down in there and were cutting holes through the ground and laying down the works all through the West, and the sort of political machinations behind the scenes as to the sort of land grabs and the money workings and all this stuff. It sort of has some political intrigue as well as this sort of Old West style Deadwood shoot 'em up kind of action. Cowboys and Indians type thing.
And it's just post-Civil War.
Just post-Civil War, yeah. It's like 1860s. And it's really crazy when it starts and says, like, the Civil War is over, Lincoln is dead. It's like, okay, here we go. Like, this is going to be hardcore. And then what did it say? Like, there's leaving a giant wound in the country or something like that. So it starts off very powerful. It's created by Joe and Tony Gayton, I think it is, who are writers. They've wrote a couple movies. Faster, I think, was one of their most recent movies, as well as a couple other features. Stars a couple, basically your sort of no-name actor kind of, or a non-name. No-name sounds so shady. What's the unknown actors?
Sure.
Right? Just no-name actors sounds so cheesy. But not really known actors. Common is in it, which is probably the most famous.
That's why you don't think it. That's why you don't think it's a name. It's just a common guy. Just a common guy.
So Daniel, AMC, Western.
Why is he winking?
Winking. Yeah. What did you think of the pilot for Hell on Wheels?
I saw the first 2 episodes.
Oh, the first 2 episodes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. So by the time people are seeing this, they've seen 3.
3. Yeah.
We've only seen 2.
Right.
Correct. Sorry, we usually cover pilots.
Love Westerns.
Oh.
Typically prefer the Sergio Leone spaghetti Westerns. What this is much more reminiscent of is the, I was going to say Clint Eastwood Westerns.
Oh, yeah. Those are different.
Yeah.
No, it's much more reminiscent of the Don Siegel, Outlaw Josie Wales, the American, not John Wayne Western, the American Clint Eastwood Western.
Basically, right?
No.
But I mean, it's like the American style of.
That's like saying it's like the American Hong Kong action movie.
Yeah. If there were action movies made in the Hong Kong style.
I guess so. Anyway,
go ahead. I know what you mean.
There's a lot of Josie Wales in this show. I love it. I was very skeptical going in, and I ended up really enjoying it.
Not a fan of trains.
Hate trains. Well, even
hate trains.
Don't bring up trains around Dan, Alex. What are you doing?
Fuck Amtrak.
That's your keyword.
Oh man.
It is a brutal show. I love the violence in it. The violence is very creative. The action scenes are very creative. Our badass dude, this guy Anson Mount, who typically plays the clean cut, whatever, like. Really, I was very skeptical. I thought I put on a beard, and now we'll say no. He was grizzled and awesome. And what I really love about the first 2 episodes is that it feels more like a mini series than a series, and that you don't see the constraints of you know, a TV show has to have certain go-to set pieces to make it affordable and make it a show. Okay, that's them building the railroad, but because the story is so fluid in these first 2 episodes, I think we just now are going to get into, okay, now we're just going to be in this town, this train building place, but also because it's a Western, because the countryside, you can be moving. You can have so many different locations, but they can have shot at all the same kind of vicinity because it's all rolling hills and woods and whatever.
They're theoretically 5 miles over. They just turn the camera to the other side.
What's also great is I think we have 2. I think what eventually will become the series where we'll have probably a love story and 2 strong male-female leads. Those characters haven't met yet.
Right.
And I'm enjoying that. Just everything was clever. Everything was smart and fun and clever, and it's not mired in politics that I don't understand, or it's not too historical, but the historical details are really great. The cinematography is awesome. The color correction is awesome.
Yeah. As soon as I turned it on, I was like, well, Dan's gonna love this these shots and color.
But maybe I wouldn't. You know, sometimes they like. Sometimes
I'm fickle. I'm unpredictable.
No, I mean, sometimes
there's trains in it.
Sometimes it appears that way.
Right, yeah.
They're just mimicking, and this is really, really, really well done. So
you're gonna keep watching?
Oh, big time. Yeah,
Okay.
I like it a lot.
Jeffrey Cannata.
I'm going to echo everything Dan said. I agree on every point, line by line. It is awesome. It's awesome. And as Dan knows, huge fan of Westerns from way back.
Western zombie, really.
I'm so glad that it embraces its Westernness. And early on in the first episode, I kind of didn't know where we were going to land as far as what this was really going to be about. Is this going to be more like Sopranos in the West? You know, where are we? And by the end of that first episode, you're like, oh, this is a revenge story. We're in a Western. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in. But I also like how exactly what you said, Dan, that we've got numerous leads. We start them far away on the chessboard, and we're slowly moving them in, and it does feel more like a long movie than it does feel like another episode of a television show. Unlike The Walking Dead, which gets mired in its own episodicness, I think. But I like how, at least early on, it feels like this long story, and we've got these great archetypes. The second episode introduces the Swede, who is awesome, and I just love the dynamic that we're already establishing. And as you said, the violence is so brutal and so intense, and we have already, in 2 episodes, we've had 2 of our main characters have to dig really deep in themselves and pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get through a brutal situation.
Yeah.
And that is that stirring American Western feeling of like, I made it this far because of all the adversity. Strong archetypal characters, stunning, beautifully shot landscapes. It is everything you would want in a story of this genre, and I am hooked.
Yeah.
Can I say one quick thing?
Yes.
Production design, wardrobe, all awesome. Feels like a great movie's production design, not a TV show's. That doesn't feel less than anyway, except for the Native Americans. Speaking English, I get why that had to happen, but really odd. Really comes across odd, and all that stuff feels not as authentic as everything else was so authentic.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I totally agree. I think this is what we're starting to see now is the sort of, the trend has come full circle to where we are literally going to have companies that are viewing TV as an hour-long or a 13 to 14-hour-long movie that we get to show, and then the next season is going to be the sequel to that movie. And that, I think, is what I'm really excited about with where we're going with, with The Walking Dead. Started with The Walking Dead and some of the, Boardwalk Empire and these things that have become these, that we are okay seeing non-procedural television shows, and you don't have to disguise non-procedural television shows inside procedural television shows. Whereas I feel like the thing that you're having an issue with Walking Dead might be that it is a non-procedural television show. It's an arcing story, but that it came at a time where they had to feed you they had to give you a little bit of that TV feel so that you didn't go, this just feels like the first part of a movie and now I'm bored, blah.
Also, it's bad.
Well, it was the best TV show last year. So yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a solid quality Western. It's up there with some of the best Western movies, and I think that it's sort of it's their genre to own. They can screw it up. We don't know what they're gonna do if people get into it and start going, well, I'm hearing a lot of Deadwood liked, and to be honest,
You're a big fan.
I think
of
it's the exact opposite. I liked the first season of Deadwood very well, and I hated the rest of Deadwood. And I think this is actually what I had wished that Deadwood would have been, which is a serialized drama of the Western persuasion, and they don't talk as if it's Shakespeare. And that was my big problem with the writer for Deadwood really decided to show the writing, and it became about the writing and the language, and it didn't, and it just got away from all the fun Western stuff. In my opinion, that's what happened to Deadwood. So when I hear someone say Deadwood Light, I say, yes, thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. So Hell on Wheels, I'm sure we will be talking about it later.
Maybe at the end of the year.
Maybe at the end of the year, AKA like 3 weeks.
I know. Wow.
Let's not talk about that anymore. So AMC, it's Sunday nights, right?
Yeah.
Sunday nights right after Walking Dead.
Yes, because of the
Crazy
thing.
marketing thing. So check it out, Hell on Wheels. We will see you. All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for all the outtakes from this lovely week of taping. But first, we want to thank our sponsor.
Our sponsor is Audible.com.
That's what I've heard.
I love Audible.com. Audible.com is a leading provider. Not a leading provider, the leading provider of downloadable
correction.
digital audio books and spoken word entertainment. They have
Bam.
over 100,000 titles to choose from, and you can download them onto your iPod or MP3 player. Any MP3 player works. You've heard me talk a lot about Audible and how I use it to multitask.
Yep.
And it allows me to read books or digest books. I'm almost done with Ernest Cline's Ready Player One, which has been a really fun read. But I want to flip the script a little bit because I always talk about how I'm able to read books and get things done at the same time. I also use audiobooks as a way to motivate myself to do other things. Like when I'm really into a book, I'll say to myself, well, I can only listen to this book while I'm exercising. So I'm like, I really want to know what happens next. Pop it in on Audible on my earbuds, and then it motivates me to go for a run because I want to hear the next part of the story. So you can use it both ways. And you can get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/totallyrad. We'll hook you up, and then you can try this out. Use it as a way to motivate yourself to get your chores done, whatever it say. I'll hear a story. I'll hear the next part of the story in my ear holes.
It's amazing.
I recommend that Ready Player One. It's pretty fun. It is ridiculously chock full of 80s references. It's like almost too much.
Yeah, I remember recommending it to everybody. Here we go. Ready? Yeah.
Wait.
All right. And you just wanted to mimic my hands.
From my hand.
I gotcha. I hear you. Here we go. Put it back in.
Although it's tough with the writing ring now, guys.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's like,
You gotta get rid of that.
Yeah.
this thing is really getting in the way.
I know a guy.
Things you don't think about.
All right, here we go. All right, everybody. Everything happened. Mike's phone was on. All right, here we go. Ready?
Ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Nice.
I can't burp. I gotta burp and I can't burp. It's not helping.
This helps little children.
It's terrible. Okay, here we go.
Nice.
Thank you. My first one.
See how quick these go.
These might go fast. These might go fast.
Do we have a bell? I know I always say that.
Oh, we need a bell.
Do we do?
get a
do
bell.
a bell?
We have the table for the bell.
last week.
Okay, I like that. As long as it's.
I think we discovered we always do a bell.
We don't always do a bell.
Tagline
Yeah.
takedown.
But I think the game that we don't do a bell is we
don't
haven't
play
done it.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the bell?
The bell's right. You
Right
missed
there.
it. It was next to the thing on the box.
Do we use the box as well?
Yes. That box is there for the bell. It's a bell box.
Bell box. Blame it on the bell, man.
What's in this box?
Box.
Happy holidays, everybody, from all of us here at the Totally Rad Show.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we were doing that.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. Sorry.
That
Go
was it, actually. I mean, there wasn't much more to do.
yeah.
Here we
Should
go.
we all say it
Yeah.
at the same time?
Why don't you give us a countdown and then we'll say Happy Holidays.
Okay, ready? 3, 2,
Happy holidays from the Totally Rad Show. Okay, if we're gonna do it all as the thing, we should.
Maybe that's actually funny.
I think it's great.
It's perfect. Happy holidays. That's awesome.
It's on the Wii.
Really? Really?
And,
Wow. You made love it!